once you start seeing yourself that way, slowly, sometimes with a leap, sometimes a step back, but slowly, you stop depending on someone else's approval. You stop depending on external validation because you don't need that external validation anymore. Beautiful lady, welcome to a new episode of the podcast for female leaders. Today, I'm going to talk about you. Sounds weird. I'm going to talk about seeking validation outside yourself. I'm going to talk about self-worth. I'm going to talk about approval from others, permission to do or to not do things. I'm going to talk about this because I think this is the kind of the basics for an amazing life. So let's start big. And it's also the basics for making next steps in your career. It's the basics for positioning yourself successfully, effortless. It's the basic for being you. It's the basics for just being you. It's the basics for everything. Because too often we let our choices depend on other people's judgment, on what we think other people might think. But hey, at the end of the day, once you look back on your life, when it's kind of too late, who are you seeking approval for? There is only one person held accountable for the things you did or did not do. It's you. It's you. So it's just trying to explain the importance of letting yourself be you, letting yourself make the choices you truly want to make, letting you make the choices without having a voice or a thought, the background, stopping you from actually taking the steps towards your dreams, goals, wishes, desires, whatever. And on the other side, I think it's the most difficult thing. And maybe you've heard of the book Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. It's written by Bonnie Ware, and she is a nurse from New Zealand, and she used to work in a place where she guided people. She took care of people living their the really last part of their lives. And the number one regret when you know you're nearly going is that you lived a life according to what you thought was important to others compared to yourself. So that is what this is about today. And it's also my journey. It is truly my journey. And even though I take steps, I would have never thought I would take them, I would do them, I would be here. And yet, I still believe there is space for more me. Anyway, if I look back on my journey, my own personal journey, there is this one thing so very important to create your own approval. Don't be dependent anymore of somebody else's expectation, validation outside of yourself. You find your approval within yourself. And I clearly remember how it actually started for me, because I was so the biggest a sentence that took a big part of my life, that came with me, traveled with me along the way for a long time, is the sentence, I'm not good enough. So I'm not good enough. So if I truly believe I'm not good enough, The moment somebody else gives me approval or gives me recognize me for something I did or give me a compliment, for me that was the only moment I came a bit closer towards I am good enough. I didn't get it from myself, right? I got it from others. I needed it. Getting it from others is one thing, but I needed it from others. And that's where things can go totally wrong, because you totally depend on others the way you feel about yourself. And it's actually not even about feeling, because when you're truly convinced you're not good enough in whatever area of your life it is, you depend very much on your ego, and your ego wants other people to tell you that it's good enough. It's good enough. Oh, they find me good enough. They find me good enough. So I would do everything to make it happen that people find me good enough. That's a horrible situation. Understandable. There is no sarcasm in here. It is what it is. I'm not bitter or whatever. It is what it is. It's been my journey, and I took it. I went. I truly went. I'm still going. So the biggest change for me was to shift from looking always in the future, always towards the future, to now. Because in our work, in our life, we often need to put our attention to something that is not there yet. In work, it's all about making things grow. I was a saleswoman for 13 years, so it was all about growing turnover, growing amount of customers, growing profit. Also very measurable numbers, right? But it can also be that you improve processes, you are working on projects to get somewhere. So your focus is always on what's not there yet and how to get there, which is totally fine. As human beings, we are made to improve ourselves with the goal to achieve something. It's in our DNA, it's in our genes, it's that's how we are made as a human being. And there it comes. And the moment you start looking at what is, the moment you start looking at what is it already that you have or have achieved or have learned or whatever you can fit in that place, that moment you're depending on somebody else's opinion, very often unconsciously. That if you're conscious about it, it's already a big step ahead. But often this happens unconsciously. The moment you shift your attention to what already is, everything changes. It changes. Because what you're doing at that exact moment is looking at yourself, what's already there. And once you start seeing yourself that way, slowly, sometimes with a leap, sometimes a step back, but slowly, you stop depending on someone else's approval. You stop depending on external validation. Because you don't need that external validation anymore. You validate yourself. Wayne Dyer says something amazing about this. It's about waiting for approval of somebody else, or having finding someone else's opinion about yourself more important than your opinion about yourself. That's giving away all power in the most positive way of the word power. Don't let how you feel, how you dream, how you act on your dream, don't let anybody else interfere with what you truly want. And if you really realize you're just at the beginning, it's fine. It's fine. This is knowing, being conscious, being aware is the most important thing. And then you start paying attention towards you. Appreciate what you have, what you've learned, what you thought, what you fill in the blank. I hope this podcast in some way made you realize how, first of all, you probably knew that already, how important it is to don't seek approval outside yourself. Just look inside yourself, go inwards. Oh, there is so much beauty in there. So much beauty in there. And the more you pay attention to what is, the easier, the more beautiful your life is. And of course also at work. Enjoy. Thank you for listening. Bye.